It started with a skeleton, not a real one, just your average plastic 6-footer holding a boo y'all sign and waving from the porch like it paid rent. I'd only added 2 foam tombstones, a fog machine from a garage sale, and a couple of orange lights when she came stomping up the driveway like she was chasing kids off her lawn with a Bible and a flashlight. Karen, HOA president, party pooper, suburban tyrant. This, she said, pointing dramatically, is a direct violation of Section 8, Subclause 14, Holiday Decor Limitations. I blinked. It's October 3rd. She raised her eyebrow like I just summoned Satan with the fog machine. And that skeleton is aggressive looking. My poodle has PTSD. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama, so the next day I tone it down. Took the skeleton down, turned off the fog, even unplugged the orange lights to keep the peace. But that's when it got weird. My fog machine disappeared. The tombstones were snapped in half. A sticky HOA notice got slapped onto my front door that read non-compliant display removed. Thing is, I never removed anything. Karen's little HOA minions did. I didn't even know that was legal. I asked around. Turns out Karen had been bragging to some of the neighborhood moms about cleaning up the Halloween filth. One even heard her refer to my decorations as morally corrosive. Okay, first of all, they were from Dollar Tree. At this point, I knew what she was doing. The passive-aggressive war had officially gone nuclear. But instead of blowing up, I smiled. If Karen wanted clean, conservative Halloween, she was about to get the most haunted, most terrifying, most HOA legal display of her life. I went back inside, opened my laptop, and started designing a masterpiece of petty vengeance, one plastic tombstone at a time. You see, I wasn't just going to decorate. I was going to create a full-blown psychological horror maze, perfectly tailored to the one fear Karen couldn't find her way out of, her own reflection, with a clipboard. I didn't waste a second. While Karen was off handing out citations for unpainted mailboxes and offensively festive pumpkins, I was orchestrating something beautiful, subtle, sinister, and HOA bulletproof. First came the return of the skeleton, now wearing a curly blonde wig and a tiny pink clipboard. He stood under a sign that read, "Welcome, HOA Enforcement Officer Bones." Then came the fog machine, upgraded to a model used in actual haunted houses. I positioned it so the mist slithered across my lawn like it had a grudge. Tombstones? Oh, I had dozens. One said, "Here lies the neighborhood joy slain by Karen." Another, "Rip Reasonable HOA Rules 1998 to 2023. But the pièce de résistance? The witch mannequin, styled like Karen from head to toe, complete with a tracksuit, bob wig, and a motion-activated shriek that screamed, "Violation! Violation!" whenever someone walked by. Kids loved it. Parents laughed so hard someone dropped their PSL on my lawn. But Karen? Oh, she nearly combusted. She stood on her porch across the street, mouth agape, wine glass trembling like it knew what was coming. I waved. She did not wave back. By nightfall, she was on the phone. I could tell from the pacing, flailing, and occasional finger-pointing. Probably calling every board member, lawyer, priest, and exorcist in the county. The next morning, a letter showed up taped, of course, to my mailbox. Cease and desist all Halloween activity due to psychological harassment of board members. That was cute. I mailed her back a 12-page HOA bylaw packet I'd printed and highlighted, all the sections that supported seasonal holiday decor within reason and tasteful humor. And I wasn't done. That weekend, I filed an official event notice to the HOA board. Title: A Friendly Neighborhood Haunted Trail. Admission free. Target audience ages 5 and up. Legal? Absolutely. Petty? You have no idea. I even got a bounce house donated by a local party rental place just to make it feel family-oriented. Karen couldn't stop it. She couldn't fine it. And when Halloween night finally rolled around, the neighborhood came alive. And Karen? Well, Karen had no idea the scariest thing she'd see wasn't a monster. It was a yard that mocked her into oblivion. Karen's rage was practically radioactive by Halloween morning. While I was setting up fog machines and aligning the talking gravestones just right, she was across the street filming my house like she was building a case for the Supreme Court. "This is abuse," she muttered loud enough for my plastic bat to hear. "This is targeted harassment." She even tried to guilt trip a group of teens walking by, yelling, "Do you support this kind of behavior? Is this the community we want?" One kid replied, "Ma'am, there's literally free candy," then walked away mid-sentence. The show started at 6 p.m. sharp. The bounce house was bouncing, the fog was rolling, and the Karen mannequin was screaming, "Violation!" on loop while strobe lights flashed behind it. A neighborhood dad brought a speaker system, and we played spooky music that, if you listen closely, had sound bites of HOA rule violations whispered in the background. My yard looked like a satirical horror movie called Nightmare on Karen Street. The line wrapped around the block. Local bloggers showed up. Someone live streamed it. It hit over 20,000 views in under an hour. And Karen, she lost it. Not quietly, not subtly. No, she marched straight into the crowd, screaming that this was a disgrace to the dignity of suburban living. I was wearing a glow-in-the-dark skeleton hoodie when she charged at me like a poorly aimed missile. She tripped over the same tombstone from before. Yes, the one that said, "Here lies the fun police," face planted into a fog machine and popped up with plastic cobwebs in her hair, screaming about legal action. That was the exact moment my motion-activated scare cam captured the scene in glorious HD. I uploaded the clip to my YouTube channel and titled it, "Karen vs. Halloween HOA Horror Showdown." The comments section? Ruthless. Memes followed. Someone added her to a remix of spooky, scary skeletons with a beat drop every time she yelled, "Unacceptable." It was glorious. The best part, HOA members had seen it too, and a few actually thanked me for bringing life back to the neighborhood. But Karen wasn't done. No, the next HOA meeting was about to be an all-out war, and she had plans to strike back. Karen showed up to the next HOA meeting dressed like she was going to court and church at the same time. Hair slicked back, stack of papers in hand, face twitching with the intensity of someone about to file a motion to ban joy itself. She stood up mid-meeting and declared, "I move that all future decorations be pre-approved by the HOA committee to ensure moral, aesthetic, and emotional integrity." Translation: she wanted to ban my haunted house. The room fell silent until one guy coughed and muttered, "Emotional integrity?" I swear I saw a board member stifle a laugh. The motion didn't just die, it imploded. Unanimous vote, denied. Karen stormed out. That should have been the end of it, right? Oh no. She came back the next day with fresh energy and her old tricks. I woke up to find 3 different violation slips on my door, one for overgrown grass, 1.2 inches tall, one for trash bin visibility, and one for decorative hostility. I'm not making that last one up. Decorative. Hostility. That's when I said, "Okay, gloves off." Thanksgiving rolled in next, and I put up a new holiday attraction in my front yard called Karen's Cornucopia of Control. I turned a scarecrow into another version of her, only this time she wore a pilgrim hat and held a tiny scroll labeled, "Thou shalt not be festive." Around her were paper cutouts of tiny turkeys in cages with signs like "too noisy" and "unauthorized gobbling." Kids came by and asked questions. Parents laughed. Someone brought hot cocoa. Karen sat on her porch and stared, arms crossed, face frozen in a perpetual, "I want to speak to the HOA gods" expression. But the true masterpiece came during Christmas. Oh yes, I went full Michael Bublé. Animated light show synced to "It's beginning to look a lot like Karen." Snow machine, life-size Santa firing fake finds from a candy cane cannon. And my favorite addition, a glowing sign across my roof that read, "All decorations approved by the spirit of petty." Karen filed an emergency HOA complaint. It got denied before she finished the sentence. Her power? Gone. Her reputation? Shredded like a rejected holiday newsletter. The neighborhood was alive again. And Karen? She was about to snap harder than a candy cane in a toddler's fist. By the time Christmas lights dimmed and New Year's confetti settled, Karen had vanished from HOA meetings like a villain who realized that the townsfolk weren't scared anymore. But I knew it wasn't over. Not really. A few weeks later, a certified letter arrived at my door, an official complaint with fancy formatting and a fresh twist. "You have created an environment of mockery and psychological distress toward a fellow board member. This must end immediately." So I gave her exactly what she wanted. I hosted an apology parade. Banner across my lawn read, "We're sorry, Karen." Not really. There were cutouts of her with speech bubbles like, "This is a violation of my happiness," and "Stop being festive without permission." People showed up with lawn chairs. A guy brought a marching band. The kids wore paper Karen wigs and held little pink clipboards. I wore a suit and gave a fake speech about rebuilding emotional trust through theatrical performance. Karen? She stepped outside, saw it all, and screamed so loud even the inflatables wilted a little. That night, she finally snapped. She barged onto my lawn, yelling about lawsuits and emotional damage and decorative defamation. She ripped a sign in half and started stomping on a cardboard cutout of herself while being recorded by a dozen phones. Then she tried to snatch someone's phone and tripped again, falling face first into a snow machine rigged with glitter. As she flailed around in sparkling foam, someone whispered, "And this year's HOA Grinch Award goes to." The HOA board had no choice. At the emergency meeting, where Karen showed up late, dripping glitter and rage, they suspended her from all board duties pending evaluation. Rumor was she paid one of my neighbors $50 just to vote in her favor, and still lost. But the real kicker? A week later, I got a message from Karen herself. She paid one of the earlier fines. $500 transferred through Zelle with a note, "I expect this ridiculousness to stop." I screenshotted it and printed it like a trophy. The remaining 13 fines she never paid? Irrelevant. That single payment proved she cracked. I framed the receipt and titled it, "When Petty Won the War." Karen moved out 2 months later. Some say it was a new job, others say it was shame. But me? I still keep a little skeleton on the porch, just in case. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Comment below.